everyone, it's Lottie and today I'm going to show you how to do this cute rainbow look, so without further ado, let's go. The lenses I'm using today are the coloured Clover lenses from TTDeye, which I absolutely love. And the foundation I'll be using is the NYX Constock Won't Be Stopped foundation. I can't actually remember what shade, but I think it's the second shade from Lightest, just above Porcelain. And I'm just applying it in small dots around my face just because it makes it a little bit easier to blend out later on. And I tend to use a makeup sponge that I wet beforehand just because it makes it a tiny bit easier to apply the foundation. The sponge I use has a small spike tip, if you want to say that, at the end of it, just because it makes it a tiny bit easier to get into the harder corners to get into of my eye, like the corners and the creases in my nose, which I didn't actually cover looking back, so please ignore that. I did cover it up afterwards, but yeah, don't make that mistake like I did. And yeah, I just kind of go over it using the pointier edge to go into the harder areas and the bigger edge around the basic areas of my face. And next is for the eyeshadow. So I'm using the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette, and for yellow I'm going to use Wow. For pink I'm going to use Bubblegum. For blue I'm going to use Brain Freeze. For purple I'm going to use Gumdrop, and for white I'm going to use Jawbreaker. So first I'm using the Wow shade, the yellow shade, to go into the corners of my eye, just because I kind of want more of the vibrant pastel colours to be on the outside, so nothing personal yellow. Next I'm going in with the pink shade, and I'm just going to try and do a line of it and then try and blend it as best I can into the yellow, and then try and blend it onto the other side just because it makes it a little bit easier when I put the next colour on, if you get what I mean. Next I'm going to use the purple shade, and I'm going to try and blend it into the pink best I can. It's kind of hard to blend into the pink, but you get used to it. I just kind of used lighter brush shades, and it's also a nice transition to the blue rather than blue straight to pink, if you get what I mean. It just kind of makes it more of a gradual gradient rather than an extreme one. And then next I'm just going through the very corners of my eye with the blue, and it kind of just makes it pop a little bit more. I'm also going to try and do a bit in my underlid just because it makes it a bit more vibrant, and if you know me, you know that I like to do a bit more of an extra look. I also tried to blend the pink in just because I just think pink on the lower lash looks really pretty, and I just kind of, again, wanted something a bit more extra. You don't have to do this, but personally it's something I wanted to do, so yeah. Next is the eyeliner, and I'm going to be using Kat Von D's Dagger eyeliner just because I like how sharp of a line it makes, and I just kind of have to shake it up to make it look as least dry as possible and make it as dark as possible. I tend to try and do a flick first just because it gives me a general idea of what shape it's going to be, and then I go from maybe just over the midpoint of my eye and then try and train up. I just find this process makes it a little bit easier if you're struggling to do winged eyeliner. And next I do the same on the other eye and keep trying to check that it is definitely matching the other eye, because matching winged eyeliner is probably one of the most difficult things. Even now, having to doing it for so long, I really struggle with it. Yeah, and then I just keep filling it in, and then if there is any missing spots, I just try and fill it in as best I can. This step is optional, but I tend to like to do a small line underneath my eye just because I'm a cosplayer for start, so I've always found that this method makes your eyes look a little bit bigger without going too over the top. Next I'm using white eyeliner, and again shaking it up just because liquid liner can be a pain to get out sometimes. And I'm just going to do two little tiny hearts by drawing two small diagonal lines, and then I'm going to do another little white dot next to that, just because I feel like it makes your eyes look a tiny bit extra. Next part is the mascara, which is pretty self-explanatory, but if you haven't used it before, basically all you do is go from the bottom of your lash to the top. I tend to like to go on top of my lashes as well on a top part, just because it makes it that extra bit darker. I also really like to overwork my lashes just because it makes them pop a bit more, if you get what I mean. I tend to put quite a lot on my lower lash just because it kind of gives the same effect as wearing lower lashes, but you don't want to go through the effort of wearing them. I know that in the past I have wore lower lashes and they look great, but they are so painful after a while, so yeah. Next is for my eyebrows. I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Pro in the shade Hot Pink. This is from when I had pink hair. And then I'm also going to use this brush. I'm not too sure what it's called. I think it's called an eyebrow brush, but I'm going to be using the thicker end of the brush just to comb up my eyebrows and then point the edges a bit more just because it makes them that extra tiny bit neater. And then I kind of use my finger to make this brush a bit sharper. I'm not actually good with brushes, but any like pointed brush will do. But yeah, I use the point to go through the corners of my eyebrows, and then I tend to rotate the brush to more of like the flat edge when I go to the bigger parts of my eyebrows, just because it makes that like more of a faded effect. Next is the blush. I'm going to be using this pink shade and this white shade for blush and highlight, which is probably one of my favourite parts of my makeup routine, to be honest. A lot of people tend to use these to like highlight their cheekbones, but I kind of use them more to like give it like a kawaii blush kind of effect. Like, I really don't go over the top when it comes to this. I tend to just like to make my face look like I'm blushing. I also kind of like to fill in my nose just because it gives more of like a cute little like cartoon character anime aesthetic, and I also use a tiny bit of the white highlight on my nose and on my cheeks just because whenever you look around it just makes it a little bit shinier. Next for the lips, I am using a Lush lipstick. I can't actually remember the shade, I did get it a while ago, but yeah, I tried to use the flat part of the brush to go over the bigger parts of my lips, and then I tried to rotate it and then use the pointier end to try and go through the corners, just because I find that this makes your overall outcome of the lipstick a lot, and I mean a lot neater. Trust me, I know from experience, like my lipstick used to be so much messier than it was now. I'm also going to use this yellow glitter that TTDeye gave to me and this white glitter that I got from my local drugstore. It came with a tiny like applicator, but you can probably use Vaseline to get away with it as well. And I'm just putting tiny dabs of it on the top parts of my eye and the lower parts of my eye, and then I'm just getting a fingerprint's worth of glitter and trying to display it. The first one I'm using is TTDeye because it's more of like a flaky one, so it's a bit more vibrant, and then I'm going in with the white, more like softer shade, and then once that is done, it's time to put on my eyelashes and my wig. And here is the finished look. My wig is from Youvimi and I love it so much, it's so cute. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys!